Working nights isn't just lonely. It's terrifying when you see what really comes out after midnight. It was a Thursday night, which usually meant the bar was slow. Just a handful of regulars, a couple of lonely drinkers, nothing out of the ordinary. I was restocking glasses when the door opened and this man walked in. Immediately, I knew he didn't fit. He was dressed like he belonged at a business gala, not in a half-empty dive bar. Sharp gray suit, polished black shoes, a tie that probably cost more than my paycheck. But what really threw me off were his eyes. They didn't match the rest of him. His mouth smiled politely, but his eyes, they were flat, almost cold, like the smile was a mask. He sat at the bar, ordered something simple, a whiskey neat, and then started talking to me. Not casual chit-chat, either. He went straight for personal questions. How long have you worked here? Do you live nearby? Do you usually walk home after your shift? I brushed it off with short answers, trying to sound casual, but inside I was on edge. The way he asked wasn't flirty, wasn't friendly. It was like he was gathering information. When I set down his drink, he slipped $100 bill under the glass. I thought maybe it was a mistake, but he just gave me that same smile and said, "Keep the change." Nobody tips like that in this bar. Nobody. The next week he came back. Same suit, same smile, but this time he wasn't alone. A woman walked in with him. She was striking, not in a glamorous way, but in the way she carried herself, confident, like she already knew she had your attention. She leaned against the counter, watching me closely, too closely. After a few minutes, she smiled and said, "You'd be perfect for a job we have." I froze. Perfect for what? Before I could even ask, the man placed his hand gently on her arm, almost like he was reminding her to stop. She gave me this look, like she knew something I didn't. Then they both left without finishing their drinks. That night, when I closed up, I felt uneasy walking home. My usual shortcut was through an alley, but when I reached it, I saw a dark van parked with its engine running. No one was inside, at least no one I could see, but my gut screamed not to go that way. I walked the long route home instead. The next day, my manager pulled me aside and showed me security footage. The man and woman had left together, but just outside the camera's view, two other people were waiting near that same alley, both wearing masks, both watching. I still wonder what would have happened if I had taken my usual path that night. If you ever worked a gas station overnight, you know how isolating it feels. The buzzing lights, the smell of fuel in the air, the hum of refrigerators, all blends into this eerie white noise. You can go hours without a single car pulling in, and then out of nowhere, someone appears. One night, around 2 a.m., a man walked inside. He looked frustrated, running a hand through his messy hair. He told me his car had broken down just outside the lot. "You can see it on the cameras," he said, gesturing toward the monitors. I looked, and sure enough, there was a car parked just off to the side with its hood up. Classic breakdown scenario. He asked if I could step outside and give him a hand, maybe even help push it. I almost said yes. Almost, but something in me hesitated. I don't even know why. Maybe the way he avoided eye contact. Maybe the way he kept shifting his weight like he was nervous. Then I noticed movement on the monitor. Just for a second, a shadow shifted near the back of the car. Someone crouching down. My stomach dropped. The man hadn't mentioned anyone else being there. I forced a smile and said, "Don't worry, I'll call a tow truck for you." That's when his face changed. It wasn't frustration anymore. It was something darker, like I'd ruined a plan he had carefully set up. He muttered something under his breath, turned, and walked out. By the time I pressed the panic button under the counter, the car was gone. Not broken down, not stalled, just gone. The police searched the area, but of course, they found nothing. To this day, I wonder if I'd walked outside, would I have been pushed into that car instead of helping to push it? Walmart at night is a strange place. The aisles feel longer, the shelves taller, and every sound echoes. I was restocking in the pet food section when I noticed him, a man, standing perfectly still at the end of the aisle. Not shopping, not moving, just watching me. At first, I told myself he was probably waiting for me to finish, so he could grab something. But as I moved to another aisle, he followed, always a few steps behind, never speaking, never reaching for anything on the shelves. It went on for almost 15 minutes. I tried to stay calm, but every time I glanced back, he was there. Then a woman appeared out of nowhere. She walked up to me with this polite smile and said softly, "I can help you get away from him." I felt immediate relief. Finally, someone had noticed what was happening. She gestured for me to follow her, leading me toward the back exit. For a moment, I almost went with her, but something didn't feel right. The way she kept glancing, not at me, but at the man, and the way they seemed connected. I pretended I had to grab something from another aisle and turned quickly. When I looked back, she and the man were walking out together, side by side. But the part that still haunts me, as they passed, the woman looked straight at me and whispered my name. I had never seen her before in my life. One of the worst parts of night shifts isn't the hours themselves. It's walking back to your car when you're finally done. At 3 or 4 in the morning, the lot outside is empty, silent, and feels like it goes on forever. That night, I just finished a shift at a 24-hour diner. I stepped outside, lit by nothing but those harsh yellow parking lot lights, and started walking toward my car. Halfway across, I heard it, a faint crunch of gravel. I froze, pretending to dig through my bag, and looked around. There was no one, just row after row of empty spaces. But then I heard it again, closer this time. I quickened my pace. My car was only a few spots away. I unlocked it with shaking hands. And that's when I saw him, a man crouched low between 2 cars, watching me. The second our eyes met, he rose slowly, not rushing, not even trying to hide anymore, just standing there, tall and unmoving, like he knew I'd already seen too much. I jumped into my car, locked the doors, and fumbled to start the engine. My hands were sweating so badly, the keys almost slipped. Finally, the engine roared, and I threw the car into reverse. In the rear view mirror, he was walking toward me, calm, steady steps. I didn't wait to see what would happen next. I tore out of the lot, tires squealing, heart pounding. The next morning, when I came back for another shift, my manager told me something strange. Security had caught footage of the man. He didn't leave the lot when I did. He stayed. Hours after I'd gone, he was still there, walking up and down the rows of cars, as if he was waiting for someone else. No one ever saw him again. But every night since, I check under and between my car before I get in. I used to work in a downtown office building, covering the overnight shift for maintenance. Most of the time it was quiet, just me, some fluorescent lights, and the occasional hum of the AC. One night, I needed to grab something from the lobby. I called the elevator, stepped inside, and pressed the button for the ground floor. The doors were about to close when a hand shot through. stopping them. A man slipped inside. He was tall, dressed in a dark hoodie, and he never looked at me. He just stood in the corner, facing the wall. At first, I thought maybe he was just drunk or lost, but as the elevator descended, he started muttering, "Low," almost inaudible words. I couldn't make them out, but I swear he was saying numbers, counting down. My stomach tightened. The elevator dinged at the lobby, and I bolted out as fast as I could. I didn't even look back. I ran straight to the security desk and told the guard what happened. He pulled up the feed from the elevator camera. We rewound it, watching me get in. Then the man, except on the screen, the doors never reopened. There was no man. It was just me, standing alone, staring into the corner of the elevator. Working retail at night, you get used to seeing weird things. People coming in half days, buying random items, or talking to themselves. But this night, I had a customer I'll never forget. It was close to closing, maybe 15 minutes before I locked the doors. A woman walked in, pale skin, long black hair, oversized coat. She moved slowly, almost gliding down the aisles. I asked if she needed help. She didn't answer. She just kept drifting, like she didn't even hear me. Finally, she came to the counter and placed a single item down, a pack of candles. No words, no eye contact, just set them down and waited. I rang her up, bagged the candles, and handed them over. But when I looked up, she was gone, not walking out the door, not anywhere in the store, just gone. Confused, I checked the cameras. On the screen, I saw myself ringing up the candles, sliding them across the counter. But on the footage, the other side of the counter was empty. No woman, no one. I was alone the entire time. The night shift changes the way you see the world. It strips away the noise of the day and leaves you with silence, shadows, and the unsettling things that come out when everyone else is asleep. Most people think the danger working nights is being tired or maybe getting robbed. But it's not just that. It's the moments you can't explain, the faces you can't forget, the shadows that move when they shouldn't. I've seen enough to know that the night has its own rules we don't always understand. And if you've ever worked late, really late, you know exactly what I mean.